All right, hello everyone. My name is Sean Devine. I'm a technical sales specialist for ITM Instruments. Thank you very much for attending our webinar today via ITM University. Today's topic is going to be industrial software solutions for thermal imaging cameras in partnership with FLIR. We kindly ask that you're going to mute your microphone during the webinar. Our presentation is going to last about 40 to 45 minutes, and then we're going to have time at the end for a Q&A. We encourage you to ask questions at any time. Simply use the chat feature and we'll get to your questions at the end during the Q&A period. ITM Instruments and FLIR have been working together for many years, and we pride ourselves on being a leading distributor of FLIR in Canada. This webinar is a result of our dedication to offering you our product expertise, service, and competitive pricing. All right, so let's get started. Today's webinar is going to be presented by Manny Al-Said, FLIR's Eastern Canada District Sales Manager, and he looks after all solution segments. Manny has been with FLIR since 2012, so he's quite knowledgeable on all things thermal imaging. Manny, if you could please take it away, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you everyone for joining us today on the webinar presentation. And I want to say thank you, ITM, for helping us host this great webinar series this year. We've had a lot of great presentations where we give you a chance to show our camera systems and technologies, and we're closing off this year with our final series, which is the industrial software solutions. So these are the, as you may know, FLIR is a global leader in sensor technology, and we are now called Teledyne FLIR actually as of this year. We were purchased by Teledyne earlier this year, and we are now truly the largest sensor company in the world, offering a variety of solutions from all kind of technologies, from X-ray, gamma, and everything else in between. In today's presentation, we're going to be discussing the industrial software solutions. So let's look at the different categories first of all. So the agenda is going to be, what do we offer as software solutions? What camera software combo are we going to be discussing? I'm going to do a quick one. I'm going to show you a couple of videos and also some live demo of the Thermal Studio software. And obviously towards the end, we're going to look at some Q&A questions and any other options that you would like to see. First off, FLIR, as you may know, is offered in a variety of markets in the condition monitoring, optical gas imaging, public safety, security, or ESC, which is the temperature measurement, and R&D science. In each category, we have a dedicated suite of softwares that we offer to help you do better analysis and reporting. In this particular case, on today's webinar, we're going to be focusing on the condition monitoring section. And the idea is to show you how you are able to save time with our software, really make it more efficient to reduce any issues and costs, share this information with your colleagues and anyone else need be, and to make sure that all your trending, you're able to truly follow the historical data to make sure that everything is properly diagnosed. The target users of today's webinar is, we call them the craftsman, the quick inspector, the expert inspector, and the asset inspector. The craftsman is someone who is more for quick status, someone who is not really looking for detailed reports, not someone who's going to be sharing any information, just a quick check. And that could be someone, an electrician doing work in a residential area. He wants to see if there's a overheated panel, a maintenance technician at a facility just wanted to check something quick. The purpose is just something to diagnose rapidly, not for sharing information or creating detailed reports. We call that the craftsman. The quick inspector is someone who is looking to do short inspections. So let's say it's a maintenance team at a facility. They start the morning, they take the cameras and they look around and start diagnosing motors, panels, wires, and so on and so forth, to give some sort of a short form report or notification of everything's running well. And then, sorry, I skipped that one. The expert inspector is more someone who does conduct surveys and site inspections, and these could be shared with management, insurance companies, could be following certain standards and all that for a particular area. They're typically the people that want to do more detailed information, and they have more advanced camera systems. And finally, the asset inspector, this is someone who regularly inspects the same set of equipment on a regular period of time, repeatedly. Could be buildings, again, could be someone who's doing a mining company, for example, inspecting the same equipment over a set period of time. and they're looking for that repeatability and ability to follow all the inspections to create that historical record. The portfolio of the software that we offer and how we split it up. Typically, the craftsman, for someone who is very quick, not necessarily needing reports, you'll be fine when using just the FLIR 1 phone adapter, for example, and the FLIR 1 app to create your basic reports or quick diagnosis. You don't need necessarily more advanced. The basic inspector is someone who is looking to do more, to offer more feature sets and all that, and some quick reports. They can use the desktop version, but they also have the ability to use some of our mobile applications as well to create basic reports. This could be someone who's offering quick diagnosis for, again, for maintenance team, for someone for doing a quick inspection at a home or whatever the case may be. Expert is someone who is more advanced. This is where the reports are really offering the true information that you're looking for, detailed information, detailed reports. That person needs the ability to have the right software tools to be able to do their job right, to offer the right report and make sure there's no mistakes. And finally, the expert asset inspector. This is the person who's, again, regularly inspecting the equipment, and they will be sticking with using the Thermal Studio Pro suite of products and our Root Creator as well. The way we break down the, let's say, the cameras to the software solution. So again, if you're a craftsman, you can stick with the mobile app and the FLIR 1, for example, adapter. Any of our TG and CX series would work in those categories. If you're a quick inspector, you need a little bit more feature sets. You should be fine with our Tools Mobile, but if you need more, you can also use our starter version of our Thermal Studio software, which is a free software in this case. And I'll show you a little bit later other pricing points. And then as we get into the higher end cameras, the EX, the XX, and T series, this is where you really need to use our advanced software platforms to do your detailed inspections. So what is Thermal Studio? It's a desktop Windows-based software to really make it easy to, whatever you captured on the camera, to streamline it, make it a quick, understandable report. It's good to capture images on the camera, but if you're not able to put it together in a way to basically tell the story of what is going on, you won't be able to get a good report. So the software allows you to take that information, do your proper analysis to generate the correct reports. This is good for someone who is doing a lot of handheld inspections. If you're doing UAV or UAS drone inspections for roofing, for looking for leaks, or whatever the case may be, and finally the optical gas imaging. We have a division that has specialized cameras that allow you to see gas leaks, let's say for the petroleum, chemical plants, special gases, carbon monoxide, whatever the case may be and all that. We want to give you the right tools with our software to allow you to do the proper analysis and eventually to create the proper report to submit to someone. So how can we help you to do your job correctly? Well, typically, if you're doing for image post-processing without the Thermal Studio offering or the software, you won't be able to do proper diagnosis. You can do some on the cameras, but very limited tools. They're not designed for doing analysis. They're more for capturing. We want to make sure you are able to capture and document properly, but the true analysis has to be recommended to do it on the Windows-based software. That's what we always recommend. You have limited tools available to you for capturing measurements. So you won't be able to do detailed or specific shapes or magic wand or whatever the case may be, as you can with our software. In the case of gas leaks, you won't be able to apply any kind of filter. So you might have missing some feature sets where with our software, you can apply some great filters to give you detailed information that you might have missed just by using the camera. Here's an example video where we take an image and we add an isotherm on the spot. It's a short video. Let me just play it and then we'll discuss it after. I'll mention some comments as the video is playing. So as you see in our software, you're able to add to any of our images extra measurement tools. In case these are spot meters, you're able to create a delta between the 2 points. You're able to change palettes, add isotherm, which means you add specific colors to certain temperatures, adjust the color distribution, rotate the image if need be, if the image was not properly aligned, excuse me, and then even change your image mode. In the case, we have the MSX mode and all that. or we overlay the visual image on top of the thermal image. Sorry about that before. You could add line tools. Again, these are tools not available necessarily on all the cameras. And you can add text comments. If your camera is not able to add comments, you're able to do so within the software to really note what the product may be. And also do graphing and so on. So now we go to the next advanced feature that is available in Thermal Studio, which is called batch processing. Now, in the past, using FLIR Tools platform on Windows, when you wanted to make a change on an image, if you had a group of 50 or more images, you literally had to do it one by one. You would make a change on one image, save it, exit, go to the next image, save it, exit, and so on and so forth. It was very cumbersome, very time-consuming, and obviously caused errors, especially for when you have, the hundreds of images long, because it's exhausting and time-consuming. So to do review and analyze hundreds of pictures was very hard to do, without any proper software or the old software that we offer. So with batch processing, now you're able to make changes on large sets of groups of images by applying a setting, a feature set, saying I want to change them all to this palette or whatever the case may be, and apply to multiple images all at once. Here's an example where in the batch processing menu in our software, you have a list of options that you can adjust. It could be emissivity, adding a tool, extract visual, whatever the case may be, you can apply, and then you select the image. So let me play the video. I'm going to show you something that's pretty interesting at the end. So in this case, we're going to modify the palette to make them all the same palette. We are going to add an isotherm to all the images to be above 50 degrees in a certain color. We want to add a maximum spot meter to all the images. Here we are choosing our images, adding them to the batch processing, and we're going to start. If you notice, the original images are kept. The program doesn't touch the original, so you always have whatever was captured originally. Now you have a new set of images, so basically a copy of the original image with the settings that you applied from the beginning, saved into a new folder by a time and dates format. So if you're doing hundreds of images, what the program will do is it'll create a folder with copies of the original 100 images. You're never going to lose the originals. You're just going to have copies of the originals with the modifications that you make. Great power. Next one. The next feature set that we offer with Thermal Studio, we call Route Creator, and I'm going to do a little bit of an overview shortly using the software, is someone who's an asset inspector that typically does the same repeated work over time. In the past, when you wanted to create that list of what to do, either you brought a piece of paper, a pad of paper, a laptop with an Excel file, or some of our older cameras, we have table comments where you would open up a table. So every time you captured an image, you would open up the table, say this image was captured in this location, this building, this floor, south side, north side, where you're repeating the same comment over and over and over again to the image on the camera. Great method, but very, again, time consuming. And everybody knows these days, time is the essence of everything. So without the route creator and route inspection option, you're spending a lot of time just trying to do things, repeatability, and you become very manual. A lot of, and which unfortunately can become, when there's manual entry, becomes issues for making mistakes. With our Thermal Studio and the route creator, you're able to create a route. So now you have a site, you're able to create a route, upload that route into the camera, and the person doing the inspection can now follow exactly where they need to be. I'll show you this shortly. So instead of having the old pad and paper, you can have it all loaded up to the camera. Here's an example video of creating a route. So this is creating a route, a work route to follow using the Thermal Studio software. And the route option is an add-on to the software. So it's bought separately, but let me show you what it can do. So first you go into the routing section of our software, you create a route. And the idea is you create a location. This could be an area. Then you can add a building. And then you can go, we could go down 6 levels if we wanted to, and multiple points, which we'll show you right now. After the route is created, then we can export this route into the camera, and it becomes a menu option that's available to follow through. Just gonna let the video complete here. So you're seeing here, we're creating a location FLIR systems. There's building 1, building 2. Building 1 has component A, component B, and so on and so forth. This can then be uploaded into our camera. You can add criticalities or statuses. These are preset, but you can create as many as you like. Well, I think I think we can create up to 10. You can change color information and upload this into the camera for the operator to choose from. There's some other options you can choose as well. This gets uploaded to the camera, and then on the camera screen, the operator now will turn on the route. So you have the route option here. He turns them on. Now the same set of instructions you just created in the software is uploaded to the camera as a menu option. When you click on the 3 dots, it shows you what point you need to inspect, what are the statuses, and if there was any comments, it would show up right here. I'm going to show you the comments, and I'll show you why that's important. If you want to see what is the inspection list, what am I inspecting, you can go through the menu of all the items that need to be inspected. Again, you can go down to 6 levels if you wanted to. Routes, it is possible to create a route on the camera, but it is limited. We always suggest to do it on the software using Thermal Studio. Advanced reporting. So this is the reason why we always recommend using the Pro version. Typically, if you don't have the proper software, it will take you forever to create a report. I know people that still use Microsoft Word and try and insert images and do things the manual way, and they create their own templates. And unfortunately, it just takes a long time. And typically, when that happens, you're making mistakes because it's end of day. You've done a lot of inspections this week. It's Friday afternoon. It's 3:30. You're sitting back in your office. You want to get your inspection report done because you want to send it off before the weekend so you can just get home to the weekend. Enjoy the weekend. With the Thermal Studio suite of software, you're able to do everything within it. Now, for those who worked with our FLIR tools software in the past, we used to integrate to Microsoft Word, which means that you would choose the images, generate a report, and the program basically opens up Microsoft Word with a template that you chose to be able to allow you to create a report within Microsoft Word. The problem with that setting was every time there was an upgrade, a change by Microsoft for either the Windows or the Office suite of products, it created bugs. And we would always have to rush and scramble to fix all the issues. It was just time consuming and not worthwhile. A lot of people had different configurations, so we decided to keep everything within. So now with the new Thermal Studio suite of products, you don't leave the software, you do everything within the software. Spell check, grammar, everything within the software is offered as well. Here's an example of some of the advanced reporting features. So here you choose a template. The program comes with preloaded templates, but you can create your own custom. You choose the images that you like. You click to report based on the template you've chosen. The template can include options like a graph. You can add comments, formulas, whatever the case may be, all into your report. You can even edit the images within the report. Any changes will be made, and you can save them, and they apply the changes back directly to the report. So you basically modify the image without having to leave the report. Great feature. What are some of the other features? So really advanced measurement tools. You can create custom color palettes. If you have a situation where a customer has particular, I want this palette black and white, or there's an isotherm, you can do that. You can rotate the images. You can filters and radio. So this is someone who does a lot of drone or optical gas imaging. You can apply filters for the videos. You can do a live map view. Great coverage. You can do great formulas. You can play back recorded videos in MPEG-4 dark mode, and you can do multiple languages as well. Now we have 22 languages, including French as well, offered for the software. The pricing, as you see, there's 3 different versions of Thermal Studio. There's the free version, which you can do basic editing of our images. Now, our images are JPEG, so they can be open in Windows without any conversion, without any special software. But within the FLIR software, you're able to edit them as well and change some things. On the basic version, you can do basic functionality. You're able to stream from the camera, but no recording. You have basic measurement functions like spot and box. and you have some couple defined templates that you should not modify. In the standard version, you have a few more features. You have 5 custom templates. Image overlays can be added on online. This is 265 Canadian a year. The professional version, this is where you're able to have unlimited amount of templates, advanced measurement tools. You can predefine, panorama image mode, and also you can create that root creator where you can upload it to the camera. You need to have the professional version. Now we are offering an annual license versus paying a one-time fee. So in the past, you paid once for the license and you had the software for as long as you owned it. Now we are offering an annual, and the reason being is since this is a new software, we continue to add features and functionalities year after year. If this is, right now we have version 1, if next year we decide to come out with version 2, those who pay, and we do have an option for you to buy the software instead of paying an annual fee, when it goes to version 2, they will have to re-buy version 2 again. Anyone who has an annual license will automatically get the upgrade to version 2, 3, and so on and so forth. So you're not stuck with the first version. The nice part is any of the new features added will always be available to you with an annual license versus paying the one-time fee where you have to repay for the license. Now, any security patches or fixes will always be available to all the versions. So that's not, we're not mentioning security patches or fixes. We're talking about functions and features that are added over time. So now I'm back, I'm available for any questions. So Sean, is there any questions that I need to answer before I jump to the live demo?
Manny, we have a couple, so I'll just go over the whole Q&A process to begin with. Everyone, if you have any questions that you want to ask an expert like Manny, now is the time. And we will save those questions for later on as well to answer during the Q&A. So if it's a specific product-related question, such as pricing or availability, we encourage you to visit our website, itm.com. There you're going to find a list of products, pricing, technical specifications, as well as all our contact info and the different ways you can connect with our technical support staff. We'll be happy to address any and all questions you may have. Let's just see what we have in the queue right now. Okay, so first question here. Eugene, we'll definitely send you an email about that, but it does bring up a good question. Manny, when it comes to cameras, older cameras, let's say like an E60, are they compatible with Thermal Studio and some of these plugins?
For the image analysis, yes. For the root creator, no. So you won't be able to upload a root onto the camera and follow through. You're going to have to do the old style, Excel. Now you are able to use tables in the E60, where you create a table. You can do it in the software and upload it if you want to, or you can do it on the camera. But the only issue is every time you capture an image, you have to fill the table every time. So if you're at a specific location, a specific floor, specific whatever the case may be, and all that equipment, you're refilling the table every image. Root Creator, you just do it once, and you're able to capture multiple images to one point of the root. So,
okay, great, thanks.
If there is ever an option for me, I don't remember the gentleman's name, we do offer trading options as well. So if you ever decide to upgrade, we can come up with something to help you out.
Good to know, definitely. Will the Thermal Studio, if you have more than one computer, will you be able to transfer the license between computers?
No, so with the Thermal Studio, the license you buy is one license per install. So you have to buy multiple if you need. Now, typically what we're seeing customers do is one person usually is doing the real analysis. And remember, you have a free version option as well to do basic analysis. So if you don't need the advanced tools, so you have one station doing the root creator, doing the batch processing, so on and so forth. But for basic analysis, you can use our free software or the starter version if you like as well.
Perfect. And some of the FLIR handheld meters, such as moisture meters, can connect to FLIR tools. Will you be able to upload any of their data to FLIR Thermal Studio?
Yes.
Perfect.
So Yeah, the same ability to capture those data information, whether it be to the camera or to the report. Yes, they can add them as well.
Excellent. I have one last one for now, I believe, and it's from Pierre. Will the route creator work with the T640?
Pierre, I need to double check. It depends on the serial number, but I don't believe so. But if you can send Sean or someone at ITM the serial number of the camera, I could double check and ask our support team. I know it works with the T1020 series, but I don't believe it works. Sorry, actually, no, I do apologize. I just got a confirmation the other day for the same question from someone. And no, it does not work with the T640. It's only on our new platform, the EXX series, which is the E76, 86, 96, the T530, T540, and so on and so forth, any of those, but not the T600 series, unfortunately. That's an older platform.
Perfect, thanks, Manny. I think that is all the questions for now. Anyone else, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to send them in the chat, and we're gonna get to them at the end.
Perfect. So I'm gonna go to the software now, just to show you guys some of the options that are available. First one I wanted to go to is the routing, and then I'll work my way over to the other features. So the idea with the routing, so in this case, I have the Thermal Studio Pro version. Routing, or the route creator, is an add-on that you purchase separately. And now you're able to create routes. The idea is you create a route, in this case, or you can open it. Now I had created a route prior. I called it, I believe it's this one. No, excuse me, this one. And I added a comment in here. I had already uploaded to the camera, so I won't need to do the upload, but basically you just export it into the camera. Now, if we go to the camera screen, I'm going to share, now I have a camera plugged into my computer. I'm going to share the camera screen. As you can see, the route is already loaded, as I mentioned before. So you have the 3 dots. So imagine I'm an operator, I'm arriving at a site, or a technician. I want to see where I need to go. Remember, I mentioned to you can do multiple levels to this. In this particular case, I'm at this site, Rio Tinto Sorel Tracy. The criticalities or the condition, the statuses, we have 4 predefined, but again, you can change them as you need it with the colors. This is not limited to the 4, we're just giving you default 4. Right now, there's no images attached, but if you notice, the note that I had put into the software is now showing here. What's nice about this is, if the technician, let's say, arrives to a place, and it's an area that's not manned by anyone, there's an access door that needs a code. Well, you can put a note, and if you see there's a little icon here, this is actually, any comments or notes can show up this way, or they can obviously show up as a list of comment right here. But what's nice is then you can tell the person doing the route, call this number to open the door, or the key is under the rug, or whatever the case may be, or inspect this. And you can do this to every point that you are inspecting. You can add a comment if you wanted to. You see this one has a comment, and so on and so forth. And then what's nice about this now, as they capture image, now unfortunately, because I'm connected to the computer, I'm unable to save images because the way it's streaming on the camera right now. But what is nice compared to the gentleman who has the E60, for the E60, you captured an image, you access the table, you filled it in. You go to the next image, access table, fill it in, so on and so forth. So you're repeating the process every time. With Route Creator now, you're able to capture multiple images to one point. Case in point example, I had a customer ask me this a couple of years ago. I'm inspecting an electrical room. I want to capture the panel, but I also want to show the surrounding of what I'm inspecting. How can I attach multiple images to one point? Well, the advantage of Route Creator is you're able to add multiple images to one point. You're not only one image, it's multiple images to one point. Okay? And remember, those images, we can also create panorama, which I'm going to show you here afterwards. If you want to see your inspection list, you tap on the bottom here, inspection list, and it shows you the locations and where you need to be and so on and so forth, so a person can review. Once the inspection is complete, it asks you at the end, would you like to lock it? That way nobody can modify. It can be unlocked on the camera, but it's a way to prevent someone from making accidental entry and all that. And then you bring it back to create your report. Okay, let's go back to the software. So let's imagine now I have completed my inspection. I am now calling, when it's complete, it's called an inspection file. I'm going to open an inspection file. Let's open one. Let's choose this one. Typically, there's any information loaded for a customer site you can upload, or it's preloaded. And then you go on to choosing the image. So let's say this is a preset customer. This is a junction. We just now, in this case, there was no images attached, but you are able to add images. So I'm going to choose a few of these images. Let's click here. And this one. I'll bring this one. This one. And this one. It should be added. So now, I have chosen a template for the route called Basic Criticality with Summary Map. I'm going to generate a report based on that template. Now, if you notice, there's some GPS coordinates. In this particular case, this camera has GPS built in. Be able to capture the coordinates. And what's nice about this, if you're doing outdoor inspections, your route where you took will show up on the total. So every single point that was captured will show up on a summary map, we call it. So you'd see all the different points of this particular, in this case, I've only had 2 images, but if I have multiple images, all will show up on the map where you were, and you actually show like a route of how it was created. Only chose 2 just because since I'm streaming, I didn't want to slow down the computer. But you see, this is called the summary map. And remember, our coordinates are registered to the computer, and they become Google Map coordinates. When you click on them, they actually open up Google Maps, show you where you were. If there was a list of equipment, in the case of a route, I didn't set this up this way, you would have a summary list with the statuses of what's going on and all that as well. Okay. So here you have, forgive me, it's kind of messy, but there's the coordinates. And again, you can click this and it opens up Google Maps. Just click that here, Control click. It's opening up Google Maps right now. So all the coordinates, if the camera has GPS, it will save it as a coordinate into Google Maps. Okay. Remember, they only work outdoors. It doesn't work indoors. If there's a metal roof, it's not going to work, unfortunately. Any comments that were saved would show up, and depending on how the setup is, you can set up graphs. And the other interesting feature of Thermal Studio Pro is now you're able to create formulas with automatic criticality, we call it. In this particular case, the formula is a default formula loaded into the program. And I'll show you the editor. So you have options here. You can change the messages and the colors. And the formula is looking at box 1 max minus SP1. So for those who are familiar with their cameras, some of the tools we use is called the zone or a box and the spot meter. In this case, the formula is saying look at the max temperature of a box 1 minus the spot. And depending on the delta that you get, you put a message with a color. So let me show you how that works. Right now it's saying based on the conditions that are coming from this image to repair immediately. I'm going to change it to make it normal, for example. So in this case, the delta between the two, did I put a delta here? Okay, delta is being shown in the formula. I'm going to put this spot in the same plane as the box. So now they should be normal. So the message should automatically change. Investigate. Sorry. Back here again. Right in the same area. Because this one's measuring max. Here, let's do it that. There you go. So as you see, the message automatically changes, colors changing. What's nice about this is imagine you've done an inspection report. You want to get the results. Instead of having to manually review every single situation, you can recreate formulas and automatically have them upload. Remember, you can put multiple formulas. You don't have to just do one. You can do as many as you like, any way you like. If you're familiar with complexity of advanced formulas, Visual Basic, you can do whatever you like in the software. That's one of the great features. Is where FLIR tools had limited capacity, this is much more advanced. You can do. Again, GPS coordinates, summary maps, summary tables, formulas, graphs, image analysis. Now let's go back to the image analysis. So routing, as I showed you before, Now I'm going to go to image analysis. In the image analysis, and this is something actually, I'm going to choose one that has a visual image attached. Let me go here with samples. So for those who know our cameras, they have something called multiple MSX, which is where we combine the visual image overlaid on top of the thermal image. Why is that advanced? So if you have an older camera where you don't have a focus control, sometimes your image might be off. So let's just do this, which means your visual image is offset from your thermal image. That can happen sometimes. Before, it was not easy to adjust. As you can see, there's the readout for the gauges, and the gauges are shown in the thermal right here. I want to realign them. Well, with the software, now you're able to realign the two images properly. And remember, FLIR is the only company that offers the MSX, where typically, this is what you're used to seeing by anybody else. With FLIR, we combine the outline and visual on top of the thermal image. So you have 100% thermal with the detail of the visual. Look at the needle. So in thermal, typical thermal, nobody else has this technology. You're seeing this. Some other companies might speak about fusion. This is thermal fusion, where you adjust how much of the information you want in thermal and how much you want visual. The problem with this ability is you're only capturing a percentage of thermal to a percentage of visual. The gauge here, it is important, you don't see the needle, right? You can add more, but you'll never see. The only way to see the needle is you have to take less. So you're decreasing how much thermal you're seeing in your image, you will see the gauge needle. With FLIR's proprietary technology, and this is a patented technology, I should say, you're able to see everything. So that's very important for people to know that FLIR's technology and is very advanced technology with MSX. Okay. Go back to the other great feature of the software is, I love to call it the panorama. What is panorama? So let's say you've captured a room and you want to put those all into one larger image. Instead of exiting the image to create, to see the delta differences, you can do one large image. So let me show you the substation. Here's 4 images that were captured for a substation. This is not a little bit, make icons a little bit larger. Okay, let's do it that way. Of course, now it doesn't load. Let's load these images into the panorama. Now I'm going to create a panorama. What does that do? Now, FLIR Tools software, desktop software, did have that ability, which we now offer in Thermal Studio. But why is that important? Again, is instead of having to exit the image, so here we have 4 separate images. I want to do a comparison between this point to this point. Typically, I would have to note it, exit, go back to the image, then compare. Now I have one full radiometric image where I can combine all the deltas and comparisons within one image. If there was a visual image attached to this, it would also be stitched together, create one large image. So you're basically increasing the resolution of your camera by attaching multiple images to give you that larger view. Okay. So, Sean, that's it for my feature set. Is there any questions to what I've shown now?
Yeah, perfect. Let me take a look here. And thanks, Manny. That was really interesting there. Okay. Let's see. For the root creator, does the cameras also need an add-on?
Yes, but most of them now come with it preloaded. If you have one of our new series cameras that doesn't have it, you can contact our support and they'll send you the file. We used to charge for it, but now we decided to add it. It depends also on the camera that you have, though.
Perfect. Is it possible to transfer reports between a mobile device to a PC for Thermal Studio?
So if you created a PDF report in FLIR Tools Mobile and you want to bring it to Thermal Studio, remember it is PDF, so it is locked. So unfortunately, no, it cannot be opened and edited. It doesn't work that way.
Okay, yeah, understood. That makes sense. that's it for now, but if anyone has any questions, now would be the time. Please feel free to send them over. Manny, will give it a minute just to see if anything else comes in the meantime.
Of course, yeah. Of course, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can show everybody without bombarding them with too much information and then lose everybody.
That's always the trick, you know.
Remember, there is, you know, if you ever have any questions, please reach out to folks at ITM. You know, they're great knowledge information. They have a lot of all this stuff. And if you ever want to try the software, you are able to download a demo version of Thermal Studio Pro. It's limited in functionality. It'll say demo everywhere. So all your images, all your reports. But what's nice is if you ever decide to buy it, whatever you had created will be unlocked and the demo message gets removed. So that's kind of a cool feature. So you're able to search Google FLIR Thermal Studio, download and try it if you want the Pro. Limited functionality, so you won't be able to do it. You won't be able to do any analysis. You won't be able to do anything, you know, major. But at least anything you try will not be lost. You'll be able to just buy the license and unlock it and remove the demo or trial version from the images and reports.
For sure, that's actually a great point, and I've played around with the demo. It definitely gives a good idea. Dave here is asking, will FLIR Thermal Studio be compatible with Mac OS?
At this time, no. I just spoke to tech support before, and actually I had the same question in the French webinar. At this moment, not yet, but I'm hoping to speak to product management, see if there's a way. We have other software for our R&D division that has Mac OS software, so I'm hoping that they will create it, but for now, there's no mention of it.
Okay, good to know. James, for that kind of question, you know what? I think it'll be better if we follow up with you after. But Manny, just so you're in the loop, James was just asking about how he could possibly do a trade-in or upgrade from an E5 to an E8. So that's something, James, Manny and I will definitely get in touch with you afterwards, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, folks, so anybody out there who has an older style camera they'd like to upgrade, please reach out to ITM. We do offer trade-in programs. We don't publish officially, obviously, just because it's impossible to, you know, publish a list officially, but reach out to them. We're always like, we want to make sure you have the latest and greatest.
For sure. I believe that's everything. So if anyone else, we didn't get time to get your questions in, please feel free to send us an email afterwards. Again, itm.com is going to have all our contact info, so you can chat, email, call, whatever you prefer, and we'll be happy to follow up with you. Manny, is there anything else before I close this off?
No, I think this was great. And please, folks, any questions, just reach out to ITM and they'll touch base with me.
Perfect. So on behalf of ITM Instruments and ITM University, we thank you very much for attending our webinar today. We hope that you found it informative and helpful. We are available to assist you in any way. Simply visit us at itm.com for anything you need, and including our contact info. In this webinar, we're going to have a very short survey that we'd like you to complete, because your feedback will assist us in improving and allow us to find you more topics that are of interest to you. The upcoming webinars are in the next few weeks and months, so please visit the training section on itm.com for a full schedule of all our upcoming webinars and topics. And don't forget that as a thank you for attending our webinar today, your name is going to be entered in a draw to win $100 towards your next online order. The winner will be announced on our social media channels, so please be sure to check us out there. Manny, I can't thank you enough. It was very informative. I know I myself learned quite a lot about the software today. And it's really interesting to see all the new things coming through the pipeline.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all for your time, and please stay safe out there.
Great. You too, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.